Hey everyone, it's Keith with another episode of our CIO Wisdom Share. Today I'm really excited to be joined with Dr. Simeon Ananou. He's the Chief Information Officer from University of Vermont, and we're going to be talking about how digital transformation and technologies are evolving and how that may affect our education system. So Dr. Ananou, welcome. Happy to have you.
Thank you.
Can you give our viewers just a little bit of background about who you are and what you do now?
Keith, thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted to be here. I want to be able to highlight my role at the University of Vermont as the CIO of the institution, a role that I have played at many other universities and colleges throughout the country over the past 20 years. Yes, currently I do hold a doctorate and I am the Chief Information Officer. But there's a reason why about 25 or so ago, 25 or so years ago, I chose this profession. As a young person, I already had a passion for systems. I had a passion for education, and I wanted to merge those two fields, personal interest and educational interest that I had. Then I quickly realized that information technology and digital devices were coming to permeate all aspects of our lives. Many of our human interactions today and most activities that we engage in our lives all depend on some technology to a certain degree. I'll just give a few examples. We rely on electronic devices for our calendaring, for instance, or for collaboration, or for even financial transactions, or for the acquisition of knowledge and information. We all jump on our portable devices to Google something or to find some research articles. So, and then the data that we generate from our various transactions ultimately serve as a way of training machines. Those machines then learn to anticipate our needs and then deliver services to us accordingly as consumers. But what we don't realize is that behind everything, all the strategies the organizations will put together to be more digitally inclined, lies a unique role or a unique position. That's the one of a CIO, which I hold here at the University of Vermont. In my estimation, the role of a CIO is one of the most fascinating positions in history at this time. And I describe it as fascinating because the CIO is constantly the one thinking about how to employ technology to improve the user experience, a concept that I've come to describe as placing the CIO at the intersection of technology and human interactions. And in the case of higher education, where I've been my entire life, the CIO, well, like myself, I am constantly thinking about technology or how technology can improve education, especially for the 21st century learner, and how technology can improve research, how technology can improve our scholarship and our creative pursuits, and of course, how technology can also bring about some sense of efficiency in our interactions without diminishing the value of those interactions. So I hope that kind of answers what the role of a CIO is and why is it that what is that I enjoy about my position.
Well, I think that's great that you're doing what you love, but I also know that you also have a doctorate in education. Are you able to use that and to work with students and kind of share with them some of your perspectives?
Yes, Keith, I normally hold a faculty appointment, either tenure faculty, adjunct faculty, not tenure, adjunct faculty appointment at the most institutions where I work, precisely because I believe that what we do as IT professionals has merit to coexist with the academic disciplines that we teach. So yes, I do teach occasionally when my hectic schedule permits. And I like to teach various disciplines, things that are not necessarily prescribed. So I'll teach things that I'll call data leadership, where I try to combine the value and the appreciation of data in all its facets, from the flexible, the data, flexible nature of data, the ethical use of data, data security, data analytics, combined with leadership theories. Because I do have this idea that data gives us confidence, and confidence makes us better leaders. So that's one way that I try to influence how the academic curriculum functions as a CIO. In other cases, I'll teach a course that I call Global Information Systems Management. This is again to expose students to what it actually means to function in a global society. The competitive nature of IT is one. But as you work in a global society or global community, you are likely to encounter individuals from other parts of the world. So the notion of cultural dimensions or the appreciation of other cultures is also very important. To which I also add information security, thinking about geopolitical influences that occur throughout the world and how one political issue or conflict between the two countries can also be influenced through the cyber world, which is where most warfare now occurs. So those are very unique topics that I like to teach as opposed to just one area that we might call computer science or geography or international relations. I like to combine many disciplines so that students can walk away from my course with an outcome that helps them become better citizens of the world and also ready to be able to make a difference in the workforce, the current or the future workforce.
And I think you mentioned strategically, you're also kind of working on a way to develop teaching and learning environments for the future. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. So as I talked about the disciplines that I personally enjoy teaching, and then occasionally disciplines that I will, or courses that I collaborate with other colleagues to teach. I also think that gives me the approach of being in the classroom gives me a unique perspective as to what it means to be a teacher, a faculty member on a campus, but it also gives me a perspective of the students so that I can make better decisions as a CIO. I can think about the systems or the usefulness of the systems. And precisely, I try to use that experience in the classroom to strategically think about the learning environment, things such as the learning management, for instance, those transactional systems that we use to be able to engage our students to exchange courses. Other places for me to be informed as to how we stand up or deploy some sort of digital discussion boards. Again, to be able to allow students to continue the conversations that may have happened in the four walls of the classroom, to continue those conversations even beyond the confines of the four walls of the classroom. But also thinking about analytics, which is more of the learner or learning analytics. Being able to tease out information from what we see in the digital space of the classroom so that we can better respond to our students. So I see the deployment of those technologies as being very intentional because we have information, we glean information from the students, both as an administrator, but also as a technology professional. And then we turn that information into actionable items that are able to transform our institutions. So that is the strategic approach that I take. But I also tend to look at the global landscape of higher education, where higher education is going collectively, the desires of the learners, and then where technology is going collectively. Mobile devices, mobile technology is prevalent today. So we have to think about how we are able to package instruction in a way that can meet the learner where the learner might be. And in that process, also thinking about how we can virtualize some of our applications on our university campuses and be able to deliver those applications to our students. So that's very theoretical, but let me bring it down to a very practical level, Keith. 20 years ago, or 25 years ago, I think it was very important for most colleges and universities to have a computer lab. But here we are in 2021, where streaming technologies have become a reality. Well, we should not just think about streaming technology as a way of streaming media, music, and movies and such for us to get entertainment. We have to draw a quick comparison, or we have to juxtapose those behaviors to what happens on our campuses to think about how we may be able to virtualize our computer labs so that our students, regardless of their location, can still maintain access to the expensive software that they need in order to be successful as students. So that's another place where we have to be very intentional as to how we deploy technology. So in the case of our institution here at the University of Vermont, We have a strategic plan that speaks to how we want to invest our resources to create or help create the learning and teaching environment of the 21st century. That particular strategy has been propelled and accelerated throughout the pandemic. We have pretty much virtualized most of our computer labs to the degree where our students did not see much of a delay in their academic pursuit during the pandemic. So those are places where we're making good progress, and I'll challenge most CIOs, especially higher education CIOs, to think about the needs of their institutions and the end user experience as a high priority.
Okay, Dr. Ananou, thank you very much for sharing today. We're tight on time, so I need to let it go there, but thank you for sharing your thoughts.
Keith, thank you so much for having me. It's been a great pleasure. I hope the insights of some of the information that I was able to share here will benefit many within the IT community and even beyond. We're very pleased and very happy with what we're doing here at UVM. I spoke about community extensively. UVM is a community, and that sense of community is one that we have been able to retain even throughout the pandemic. And for those who are listening, I will say that we're very pleased with the fact that the UVM resumed classes, in-person classes in the fall and even now in the spring. And in the fall, we're able to use technologies coupled with human interactions to have less than 100 positive cases of COVID-19 on our campus. So thank you.
Oh, that's very refreshing to hear. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hope you heard a few things that triggered some new thinking for you. We do these conversations on IT topics weekly, so please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you get updates on new content, as well as you can post comments and, more importantly, suggest topics that you'd like us to address. You can see that we have some pretty amazing resources. So please let us know how we can help you on your upcoming digital transformation and enterprise IT projects. Thanks very much. Until next time.